welcome back to my YouTube channel. Do I pull my hair back for this video? I don't know. I feel like I don't like the symmetry of like picture no picture. But anyway, we're just gonna go for it, okay? There's so much echo in this video. I need to buy a new camera that has a, what's it called now, microphone slot, and I don't know, it's not really quite working out for me. But yeah, I need some money to do that, and I'm not quite financially buoyant, which is part of the things that we're talking about today, okay? So we're talking about credit, and I just made a video actually just before this talking about living in the UK, and I've lived here for 10 years now. You'll probably see that video sometime soon. Make sure you check it out after watching this one if you do, if you're interested. But I've been living in the UK for 10 years, and I first got my credit card, I want to say 5 years ago. A friend of mine, my friend's husband, helped me, actually gave me like the education that I needed to actually get a credit card. This one is expired. I don't really know how much I can I don't know how much of this I can what's the word, show before they go and thief my money, but I'm covering the parts that I can cover. I got a credit card, and I don't think I really understood the credit card system and the credit system in the UK. I feel like this is such a big issue, especially when you're transitioning from a country that doesn't have a credit system. But also just, I think a lot of people here, we don't even get taught this in school. Like a lot of people, they don't really talk about money and sort of like the system of money in this country, which makes it more difficult when you're becoming an adult in terms of like learning what to do. So I got my credit card. I can't remember what the percentage is in terms of like how much interest you have to pay. So I'm going to explain in a very simple, you are a bit daft version of way how a credit card works. So they give you a card, you have a certain amount of money. I think when I first got my card, I had £1,500. So every month they will give you an allowance of £1,500 or whatever your limit is. Some people have, I've heard of like £10,000 credit cards. I'll be scared to walk around with that kind of, because maybe it's a poverty in me, but I'm just like, wow, that's a lot of money. But anyway, your credit card, this card has a payment limit and like a maximum amount of money that this loan system, what do you even call them, the creditor has given you. Let's say the creditor, in this case it's my bank. So they give you a certain amount of credits. Mine was 1,500, and the deal is you pay them their money back every single month. And if for some reason you don't pay them back all their money every single month, there's a bit of a back and forth in between there and lots of other stuff. But just explaining to a 5-year-old, if you don't give them back their money every single month, they charge you an interest on the amount of money that you didn't pay them back. So I had a 1,500 credit limit that they've given me, like I go and use every month. And then if in 1 month I used 1,500 and I only gave them back I used 1,500 and I only gave them back 1,000, so that means I was owing them 500. They would charge me an interest on that money every month. One thing that I actually didn't know was that interest is not like, oh, 25% of that money, like at that particular time. It's 25% divided by 12 because it's an annual money, right? So if you were paying interest in that month, you'll be paying it annually, right? So it would be £500, right? I'm assuming it's like a 20% interest. It would be 20% of 500 divided by 12. That's what you pay in that specific month. You should probably go and find out how credit card works. I did a really crap job at explaining it, but I promise you I get how it works. But anyway, go and Google that. The reason why I got a credit card actually was because I was really struggling financially. It's kind of hard to explain it. I had like a really tight saving budget that I was and I was putting the money into that account. It was an account that I didn't have access to outside of weekends and outside of weekdays. So weekends and weekday nights, I didn't have access to that money. So it was a good way to like convince myself to save money, and honestly still the best saving decision that I ever made. And I probably should start going back to doing that. And I was finding that a lot of the times in the end of the month, like say my salary is going to be getting paid in 2 days, I was really struggling for that last 2 days. I needed like to make a purchase, and I didn't have any way of making that purchase other than going to my savings account. But then my savings account was locked Saturdays, Sundays, and evenings. So then I was like always having to call my friend to borrow her for money. Shout out to you. And I'm like, this is not sustainable, right? I need something else. So then what I did was I got a credit card. Now the problem is it gives me the illusion of money that I don't have. I don't know how to, do you get what I'm saying? So at the moment, my credit limit is £2,500. And I'm not very, I don't have discipline. Yeah, let's say that I'm not the most disciplined person. And especially in some certain areas of my life. So when I see £2,500 as a limit, I'm like, you know, that's fine. I'll put that on a credit card. I'll put that on a credit card bag. I'll put that on a credit card shoe. I'll put that on a credit card. You want it? I will put that on a credit card. And what started happening, especially around Christmas time, where my spending was always more, like so much more than I can financially sustain myself. And I was really struggling, and I would find that last year it really messed me up because I came back from holiday and I was still suffering the repercussion of pretty much having a credit card and putting everything on my credit card for months. All my little travels and walkabouts and here and there's, but I come back in January, I'm like, I have this crazy bill and I barely know where that money has gone and where it's come from, and it's just not healthy. So I think that's the reason why I'm dishing my credit card. I have told myself that I'm not going to be using my credit card anymore. I have like a little bit of money that I actually need to try and recover if I can. That's one of the good things about credit card, as you say. They have this thing where if somebody uses your credit card, which has happened to me before, that's not authorized to use it, you can actually call them and they basically give you the money back. You can't use that for useless reasons. You need to give evidence and whatnot, but they've done that for me before. Okay, what I then started doing was I would just use my credit card as my only spending means, not my main account. And then every month, as soon as I get paid my salary, I transfer all of my salary, or most of my salary excluding savings, into pay my credit card. That was where I realized that there's an issue, because the money that normally enters my account for my salary and the money that needs to be paid back, it did not used to add up. And I'm like, this is unhealthy. Yeah, this is very unhealthy, and I need to sort this out like ASAP. So what am I going to be doing instead? This might give me financial advice. I'm not ashamed to say I don't know much about money, so I'm willing for people to tell me stuff. Tell me, but this is what I'm planning to do. I'm going to stop using my credit card because as I said, I don't know how to budget. I don't know how to control myself in terms of thinking, oh, I have money there. I'm just going to block my card. So the credit card is going to be there because I think you need it for just credit in general. So I'm going to keep the card. On my app, I will go and turn off every single thing on the app, online purchase, in-person purchase, everything. Pretty much block the card, but it's going to be there. And I'm just going to be using money from the amount of money that I get paid. Wow, what a concept. I will only ever use it when I know that I have something specifically that I want to pay for that I don't really have the money to do. So for example, sometimes it might be a holiday. Okay, I know that if I found this deal for this flight, I don't have, outside of my savings account, which is very interesting at the moment, lovely numbers, quite funny, but outside of my savings account, if I can tell myself, okay, I know that outside of my savings account, at this month I've kind of maybe eaten most of my salary and I don't really have the money to pay for this holiday, but I know that if I don't pay for this holiday, the price will go up. So what am I going to do? I'll open my credit card, I'll use my credit card to pay that specific amount for that holiday, and then when I get paid, I'll know how to apportion the money from my salary to that credit card, and it's specific for purchase. Because before, what I was doing is £50 here, £70 here, £80 here, £120 here, and all of a sudden you have a lot of money that you cannot really pay for. Another way in general that I want to say that I use the credit system, because I think the credit system is great, I think it's fantastic, it's just as long as you know how to use it well, which I'm still learning how to do, and hence why I'm making this video. So one of the ways that I'm learning how to is through so for example, I got a car early this year. I was in an accident last year, which kind of really changed my plans for buying a car. I wanted to buy a car last year, but I was like, I don't have the money, so let me just, again, live within my means. And so this year, accident happened, my car was written off, I had to buy a car, I didn't really have a choice. I used the credit system for that because my friend, I was actually going to do a car finance. However, when you get a loan, like a car loan, you actually take, the bank gives you the full amount of money that you need to buy that car, and then you take that full amount of money and you give it to the person who you're buying the car from. Then the bank has an agreement with you before they give you that money, obviously, of how much you're going to pay for, how much interest you're going to pay them for, and then how much the time period. So then that was what I did, and I'm not really ashamed to say that, and I say this all the time whenever I see people that ask me about my car. Oh, you got a nice car. I'm like, yeah, the bank gave me the money to do it because I couldn't afford it. And I think sometimes when I always see people with flashy cars in the UK and stuff like this, I always think, oh my god, they have so much money. But no, people just pay out these things every single month from their salary. So mine, I have a certain term with my, I did it for the maximum amount of time, 7 years, because that made my repayments on a monthly basis low, and that value is low enough to the point that I feel comfortable that no matter what happens to me in this life, I should be able to pay that amount of money. I can't say no matter what, because life is funny, but generally speaking, I feel comfortable that that's an amount that I can always pay out, regardless of generally speaking, like my financial situation. So that's the way that I want to be using the credit system. Is like, okay, I take an organized, sensible amount, and I understand where that money is coming from, why I need that money, the amount of interest that I'm paying it. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, very defined. And then when I'm paying, I know exactly how I'm paying and when I'm paying that back, etc, etc. I also need to really work on understanding like my finances, understanding where my money's going. I hate budgeting because I'm a boss babe in my brain, so that means that I have a limitless amount of money, right? So I need to do better at like really try and understand what I spend my money on, because I'm so frugal that I've always told myself, because I'm so frugal, I don't really need to budget. But I'm in a phase of my life where I'm coming out of my frugality, and I'm struggling because a lot of times I'm just like, oh, I want to buy this, but I don't have the money. So yeah, that's what I'm doing. But anyway, this is the reason why I'm dishing my credit cards. Let me know if you use credit cards. Let me know what your experience has been like. I should also say, I was listening to a podcast of a friend of mine who got a car as well recently, where she said that she went online to check for car loan interest rates. Again, that was a knowledge that I didn't have. I just thought, oh, I only had to use my bank's whatever my bank was offering. So I didn't know that you could go on, I guess, Money Supermarket or some of these compare websites, Go Compare, etc., where you then actually have access to lots of different lenders, and they can say, okay, if you want to loan £1,000, for example, to buy a car, this is the interest rates we can charge you, this is the payment terms. I felt like my interest rate is not too bad, but now knowing what I know, I feel like I could have gotten a better deal. But then at the same time, I can't really judge myself based on information that I didn't really have at the time. So that is my story about interest rates, and not interest rates, the interest system relating to credit cards in general, and credit system specifically from the UK. Let me know what your journey has been like in terms of being accountable, in terms of using credit cards. Do you like credit cards? Do you hate them? I really want to hear. If you found this video and you've never met me before, do subscribe, check out my other content, and let me know what you thought about the video. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you somewhere in this space sometime soon.